Welcome to my 2025 preview of the Cleveland Browns. I start off with 3 things I like about the Browns, followed by 3 things I don't like. Then I'll break down the schedule. At the end of the video, I give you my record prediction for the Cleveland Browns for 2025. Now let's start off with the first thing I like about the Cleveland Browns. The first thing I like about the Cleveland Browns is that they kept their head coach and general manager. After the disastrous 2024 season and the Deshaun Watson fiasco, I could easily see the owner just firing these guys and blaming them for his mistake. Instead, he came forward, admitted the mistake, and kept these guys intact because they have had some success together. So I think that having some continuity in a very difficult AFC North, I think that's important going into 2025. So I think it's a good thing. The second thing I like goes hand in hand with this, and that is I love their draft. I love the Browns draft. First off, they have 2 first-round picks for next year thanks to the trade they made with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But Mason Graham and Schlesinger, these are going to be day one starters. Fannin and Simpson are going to be players that are going to impact in 2025. Now with Quinshon Judkins, I'm not sure what off-field issues will prevent him. Right now he's still unsigned as I'm making this video, but if that gets ironed out, there's a good chance he's going to be the starting running back sometime this year. And then Gabriel and Sanders, the 2 quarterbacks, if either one of them start this year, this makes this an A draft. Plus, you have 2 first-round picks for next year. Now, with Graham and Schlesinger, that goes hand in hand with the third thing I like about the Cleveland Browns and that is I love their defense. The Cleveland Browns defense is awesome. 2 years ago, they gave up the fewest yards in the National Football League. Last year, they're 19th in yards allowed, 27th in points. But I blame more of the league's worst scoring offense than I do their defense. Jim Schwartz is an excellent defensive coordinator, and he's got studs across the board. You have last year's second-round draft pick, Michael Hall, who's only 22. He's going to improve. You put him next to alien athlete Myles Garrett, and you got a potential for a dominant front seven. I already mentioned first-round draft pick Mason Graham. And then you also have Schlesinger. He's going to help as a linebacker. In the back end, though, you have 3 of my biggest draft crushes. You got Denzel Ward, you got Greg Newsome, and Grant Delpit. Grant Delpit's on the verge of being an elite, strong safety. And you also have Ronnie Hickman, who could be a stud at free safety. So the thing is about the Cleveland Browns, they got studs on all 3 layers of this defense. Jim Schwartz, an A-plus defensive coordinator, and I expect the Cleveland Browns to be one of the best, maybe even surprise people and be the best defense in the AFC. Now, 3 things about the Browns I don't like. Before I get to that, are you sick of women laughing at your small ding-dong? Not anymore! Subscribing to Dan Talks Football increases unit size 369% on average for male subscribers. Get the girl of your dreams or just keep her happy by subscribing today. Now, back to the video. The first thing I don't like about the Cleveland Browns is their quarterback situation. There's an old saying in the NFL, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any. Well, the Cleveland Browns have 4, and this is just a big problem, something they have to iron out soon. Now, I get it because they were the league's lowest scoring offense last year, so I understand why they brought in all these quarterbacks, but as I'm making this video, I can make a strong case for all 4 of these quarterbacks starting for week 1. They need to figure this out fast. And this goes hand in hand with the second thing I don't like about the Cleveland Browns is that they don't have a wide receiver number 2. Now, Cedric Tillman had a nice stretch last year, but in 2 years in the NFL, he has a total of 50 career receptions, and Jamari Thrash, who is wide receiver number 3, has 3 career receptions. So why didn't the Cleveland Browns go after DK Metcalf, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen, or Tyler Lockett? You got who's going to be a brand new quarterback for the league's lowest scoring offense last year, and you couldn't upgrade the wide receiver position. This is a big problem and something they really should have addressed. The third thing I don't like about the Cleveland Browns is that they play in a very tough, brutal AFC North. In the AFC North, you have 2 teams that went to the playoffs last year in Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and then they played in a wild card round with Baltimore advancing. And Cincinnati finished the season 9-8 and won their last 5 games. If I was going to rank the divisions 1 through 8, the AFC North could easily be 1 or 2. There's not too many divisions that are tougher than the AFC North. The other three teams all had winning records, and Cincinnati, even though they're 9-8 and didn't go to the playoffs, they won their last 5 games. And trust me, nobody wanted to see Cincinnati in the playoffs last year. So if the Cleveland Browns are going to go ahead and make the playoffs, they have a tough road to haul. And speaking of that, let's take a look at the Browns' schedule. When I take a look at the Browns' schedule, first thing I notice is a Week 1 game against Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati's lost their last 3 years season opener, so if Cleveland can start off in a winning note, that is huge. They have some brutal road games at Baltimore, at Detroit, at Pittsburgh. Now, Week 5 is London game against Minnesota, which I think is an advantage. I think Minnesota is a better team, but sometimes these London games can get a little squirrely. So they have a good chance at playing Minnesota on a neutral field. I think that's an advantage. When I look at this schedule, though, it's really tough before the byes, but I see a chance that you can get some wins here. Against Cincinnati, against Miami, these are winnable games. If you can sneak another 1 or 2 and then go into the bye with 3 or 4 wins, you're in really good shape. Now, after the bye, you got 5 of your final games at home. All right, so you got 5 home, 4 road, but you got some tough ones at home. I mean, you're hosting Baltimore and Buffalo. That's really tough. But these road games are all winnable. You got at the Jets, Raiders, Bears, and Bengals. If you can win some of these home games, I mean, you should be able to beat Tennessee at home. Can you beat San Francisco or Pittsburgh? That's possible. But if you win 3 out of the 4 road games, which is very possible, you're looking at maybe going 9-8, 10-7, and that could get you into the playoffs. But keep in mind, out of these 5 road games, you really got to win a couple of them, and you got some tough outs here. Now, this is my prediction for the Browns in 2025. I got the Browns between 7 and 9 wins, and I think the first part of the schedule is really going to be a struggle. But I think after the bye, this is going to be one of the better teams in the National Football League. Once they ironed out the quarterback situation, and if they don't have a lot of injuries, I think the offense is going to be pretty good, but I think the defense is going to be excellent. Now, I plan on doing a majority of my sports betting at Station Casino, and I'm located here in Vegas, but they have Station Casinos all over the United States. You can, I got the app on my phone right now. The odds are over 5.5 wins for the Cleveland Browns at plus 130. That's a steal. I'm putting action on it, and I suggest you take the over for the regular season wins for the Cleveland Browns. Now, next up will be the New York Giants, and I hope to see you then.